We wish you a Merry Christmas, we wish you a Merry Christmas, we wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
Hiya, said I'll be back really soon, so hello. Right, so a bit about my morning. My morning has not gone how I planned. Luckily, I am going to do a really cheerful video, but my car got sick. It's like my car just knew that, oh, she finished her job the other day, she hasn't got another job yet, it's Christmas, she's spent out all of her Christmas shopping. There was me being all cocky going, right, okay, I've got X amount of money put aside to get us through Christmas, food shopping, you know, maybe a few cheeky luxuries, bit of Christmas shopping. Bang, car, sick. Just got the phone call from the garage. Basically £360, which is like my entire Christmas savings gone poof. So thanks for that. Cheers, little car. But hey ho, it will live to see another day, which is the main thing. I decided I really wanted to do a video on the Merry Berry Christmas special that the Cambridges did. I thought it was fantastic. For those of you that haven't seen it yet, definitely watch it, but I'm going to give a kind of like review, what I think about it. I cannot begin to tell you how much of a contrast it is from the previous royal documentary that we have had recently. Obviously Charles's Duchy of Cornwall was brilliant. It showed a really nice insight to sort of like Charles and Camilla, and he came across as a very, very nice man, and he went up in my estimations. The Cambridges I liked anyway, but watching this was just, it was really, really lovely. For those people that are already Bake Off fans, you know Mary Berry, she's lovely, and she's just got this real soothing voice. Her voice to me is kind of like you've just got out the bath, you put on warm fluffy pajamas and you're sitting there snuggled on the sofa with a cup of hot chocolate. That's the kind of like fuzzy feeling she gives me. So straight away Mary Berry is talking about that she has been invited to do the food, arrange food for this very special party that's being held. The party is being held for people that are working over Christmas that help in a certain number of charities, armed forces, NHS workers and that, and it's all to be arranged. It's all been arranged by the Duke and Duchess of Cambridge. So Mary is now coming along to meet Catherine and William and to go through various causes. So Mary goes off to meet Catherine. They arrange to meet at the garden that the Duchess helped co-design earlier in the year. They show you bits of footage of Charlotte George and Boss Baby Louis charging around and playing with sort of William and that, and it was just really nice to see just this little bit of their kind of personal time, and William's talking to George and you just hear the kids playing. They talk about the fact that the kids' personalities are really coming out. Catherine shares a bit of info about how George is really into hiding treasure, and he's got a little treasure chest which he keeps anything and everything. Kids are so creative, and he shows his friends anything from crab claws to shells, whatever they can find. You know what kids are like. Mary at this point is very much star of the show. She's the one asking the questions, and she's almost interviewing the Duchess of Cambridge. I've not stopped smiling yet because Catherine just absolutely radiates. She really glows when she's talking about her children. It's not fake, it's not artificial. She just clearly radiates a kind of like happy glow. She's nervous, she babbles, she blushes, she's completely human, I have to let everyone know. And she also seems like she's fangirling a bit over Mary. So Catherine goes on to talk about the garden, and she's talking about, you know, what's close to her heart and about getting children to play outside, very much to do with obviously the mental health. There's lots of women and children gathered, and Catherine does go on to give a speech, but she's not talking about herself. She talks about the causes, she talks about the importance of the communities coming together to help children's mental health. Mary goes on to talk about her and William both being patrons of the Child Bereavement UK. William because he lost his mother, so it's very close to his heart, and Mary shares that her and her husband sadly lost their son in a car accident. I wasn't even aware of that, and it just goes to show that, you know, people can be affected by bereavement in so many different ways. They go on to discuss William's support in a homeless charity, and the fact that William has even spent a night on the streets. I didn't even know anything about this, to raise awareness. He talks about Diana, but it's with so much pride, and he really shows like gratefulness for the fact that his mother installed compassion in him for others at such a young age. You know, she used to take them to the homeless shelters. He talks about Catherine with such praise, and he points out it was actually Catherine that linked all of the mental health projects that they were working on. Harry was working on one, William was working on, and they were going in all different directions, and it was Catherine that linked them all together, and that's where they came up with Heads Together. He talks about her with such pride. It was really admirable. I kind of liked it. You know, it just makes you a bit gooey. So he talks of the charitable influences, not just from his mother but his father as well, and it's left him inspired. He also goes on to talk about how the Queen has absolutely inspired him because she took the throne at such a young age when her father passed. And at the time, he points out it was very much a man's world. And he talks about the love and everything that he has for his family, for his grandparents, for everything that they've done. And I just find this a really lovely quality about him. They talk to the charity workers about their experiences, or rather they ask the questions, the charity workers talk, and they just sit back and listen. The women ask William lots of questions, especially about the children, the Christmas presents, and like Catherine, he has no problem happily sharing little tidbits about their different personalities. It's really sweet as it gives you a better idea and insight to what the Cambridge children are like. William then goes on to talk to homeless people that have been baking, which is like part of the charity get together. It's getting people off the street. So he sits down, he has a chat with them, and he's with Mary, and he asks the question, and he said, what is the worst possible thing that, you know, about living on the streets? Obviously all of it's not particularly nice, but the bit that really got me was the fact that all of them pretty much said it's the abuse that they get. It's really sad to see real people that are talking about this, because there, you know, there are a lot of con artists in the world, and I think that's turning people bitter, because, you know, there are a few people where you see them in the newspaper where they're getting out these luxury vehicles to set up camp for the day. But not everyone is like that. For some people, this is their life. This is real. This is all that they have. And I just don't understand how another human being can kick someone when they're down, when they see this person on the street, it's freezing cold, and what do? They tip their pint of beer all over them, or steal their stuff, or worse, they do awful things to people, and it just breaks my heart. So when you hear about charities like this and you listen to all of the workers and what they actually do, it really does inspire you, and it makes you remember that there are good people out there. In fact, the whole part of the show is to show that there are amazing people out there that are giving up time with their families, with their friends over Christmas, so they can basically work in these charities and shelters and show people love and show people kindness when on most days of their life they don't even have a kind word thrown their way. And it got me a little bit emotional, because you do forget about people like that. You sit there in a house. I moaned about my car earlier in a video. At least I've got a car, at least I've got a house. It was really thought invoking, and I really like that about this programme. It made you really think. They then do like a little bit with Mary. She's in a taxi going off to the next thing where she's going to meet the Duchess of Cambridge again, and she makes a point of saying that both the Cambridges, they really care about their charities. They don't just turn up for a photo op, shake hands, you know, and then disappear again. And you know, they keep coming back and making sure that they're seeing, you know, changes and things being implemented and things that they discuss. They want to see it happen. They really care about the people that they're supporting. So then Mary goes to meet Catherine at a charity called Action on Addiction. The charity provides support and understanding that addictions don't just necessarily affect the person that is suffering, but everyone around them, especially the children. To me, Catherine is clearly focused on everything to do with child mental health, from early stages right through school, social activities and toxic environments. It's wonderful to see her so passionate about this subject. So when I think of the Sussex 2, they're constantly changing their support every month for the charities, and I feel like you're not really getting any sort of impact. Like the newspapers might go, oh, they're supporting these charities, but then that's it, that's all the coverage done. And if Harry and Meghan just stuck to a particular area, a particular cause, a particular charity, and threw all their weight behind that and keep revisiting it and stuff, that would definitely give more support, I think, behind these charities. It would give them more coverage. But what they seem to be doing is it's almost like a gimmick. They're not deeply investing in anything. So after they've been to the centre and been speaking with families and children and how it helps them, Mary asked Catherine, she said, you know, do you have any points where you've been and spent a day like this, you know, where you reflect on it? And Catherine's like, yeah, of course. You know, you've spent all day with people in this environment and stuff, and then you take it on board and you take it home before you jump into the next thing. And she said about, you know, just picking up the kids from school. It's like she's saying, and it's believable, that, you know, you let that day sink into you. These people, all the people that they're working with, you know, some of them are in real hardship, and then to just go, right, done, next. And it does make you think. I don't think it was a swipe at the Sussexes at all, but it's what makes me think about the fact that they still went to South Africa, one of the poorest countries in the world, and they used that as the platform to tell the world how hard they had it. And I think it turned even many a fan against them. I think it was definitely a mistake for them to have done that, because how can you have no bearings of your social surroundings in a country like that, meeting those people, those girls, that a lot of them are not going to survive to adulthood without being sort of like sexually attacked or worse, and then they made it about them. It's just, it shows the level of depth that they have, and it's nothing, it's a paddling pool, isn't it? So as the show drew closer to the end, Mary sets up a little challenge for William and Catherine, and if you've ever seen them, they're very competitive, but it was quite funny to watch them. They're very playful, but you can tell that they definitely compete against each other. Whenever you've watched them do anything sporting on TV or anything, you know, they really do go at it, and it just goes to show they've got a nice playful bond between them. I'm like that with my husband. husband, and it just, I don't know, it just makes them seem so down to earth and so normal, and I really like that about them. So while the competition is going on, Mary and Catherine are having a little bit of a chat, talking about, does William cook at home? And she's like, oh, he's good at doing breakfast. He used to do them all the time at university, but I think that's when he was trying to impress me, which I can relate to that, because that's pretty much the last time I think my husband cooked. They just came across as a really fun, down-to-earth couple, and I really enjoyed hearing little snippets about the children and what they get up to at Christmas. Just the way that they play together, as I said. You can absolutely feel the kind of like energy in the room and the disappointment when Mary can't actually decide which one of them's the winner and it's a draw. You just watch both their faces kind of like with gritted teeth, like, ugh. So the party then starts, all the guests begin arriving. They discuss the fact that they've invited people from the armed forces, charities, NHS workers, mental health workers, everyone that is working over the Christmas and is not going to spend that time with their family. You have interviews or snippets of people talking, saying how much they really appreciate Catherine and William doing this, and they remember them. They go up to them and shake hands. She's like, they actually remember me. So it goes to show that they really do care about the charities and the causes that they throw themselves behind, and I think that is what makes them really, really lovely royals, and they are the ones that I want to keep. The entire program was all to do with the charities, the people, everything that they do, and I found it absolutely wonderful to watch. It was so wonderful, in fact, that I actually really would love it. There have been a few people saying, do it annually, this would be brilliant. Catherine and William sort of Christmas with Mary Berry, where they go around to different charities, have a cook-off or something. It was, and it is really, really lovely. The whole show was completely heartwarming. It was wonderful. Very much Mary Berry was the complete star of the show, and whilst the Cambridges were in it and they were talking about their family and what they get up to and snippets, they were on the sidelines of it. They were pretty much, I suppose, the helpers that came into it, and that's what it should be about. It was the same as when Charles did his Duchy of Cornwall. He's literally showing it was more to do with what the people do, the hard work that they show, and they made it all about them. And they are two TV shows. If you get a chance to watch them, really do it. Not all the royal family are bad. So that's it for me, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. I'll be back really soon with another one before Christmas. I'm going to try and do a Christmas special, so watch this space. Right, see you soon.
If you like my video, please remember to like and subscribe. Please, angry typist, you will be blocked, so save your fingers the time. Also, if anyone would like to make a donation to my channel, I do now have my PayPal link back up, which is in my community page under Buy Me a Coffee. You just click the link and it takes you through PayPal. Any small donation is always greatly appreciated. Thanks a lot, take care, love, Tass.